My name is Andy Ellis, and I'm speaking to you today in my role as chair of Baltimore for Democracy. It's a grassroots ballot issue committee that is formed to oppose Question H, the charter amendment that would reduce the number of council districts from 14 to 8 and the number of members of the council from 15 to 9. Baltimore for Democracy came together formally in June of this year when several of us who served on the Charter Review Commission gathered with some of our friends, neighbors, and colleagues to figure out what we could do to oppose this very bad charter amendment. The speakers you will hear today will explain why the charter amendment is bad in more detail, but let me start by offering 3 arguments. 1, slashing the size of the city council is bad for responsive government. Fewer and larger districts will make it harder for city council members to work with residents, neighborhoods, schools, churches, businesses, and everyone else. 2, decreasing the number of districts and increasing the number of voters in each district is bad for democracy. Bigger districts are more expensive to run in, they attract less diverse candidates, and they provide better protection for incumbents. And 3, rewarding the unlimited spending of personal wealth to get an issue on the ballot is also bad for democracy. Campaign finance law, which regulates individual and corporate donations elsewhere, allows unlimited contributions to ballot issue committees. If one man can spend $415,000 to get something on the ballot and the people are not able to stand up and fight back against that, it will let other wealthy people know that they can shape the form and nature of Baltimore city government however they want to. And so before Baltimore for Democracy came together, the 3 of us who are here today that were on the Charter Commission, Davon Love, our treasurer Julianne Montes de Oca, and myself have been studying this issue and charter amendments in general all year. In the spring, we understood a few things would have to happen if we wanted to defeat this amendment. First, elected officials in the Democratic Party would have to pay as much attention to the general election this time around as they normally pay to the primary election. 2, organized labor, faith communities, and advocacy organizations would have to focus their efforts and mobilize their membership in order to oppose this question. 3, every person, no matter their political or organizational affiliation, needs to have the information to be able to understand what this ballot issue does and how they can oppose it. And 4, the press would have to cover the issue and the debate around it. I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised about how well each of those things is going. We here at Baltimore for Democracy are in active collaboration with the other groups working to defeat Question H, including the Baltimore City Not For Sale Coalition, the elected leaders, the unions, the faith organizations, and the advocacy organizations. Now, we're glad to see media here covering it today, and 48 days out, we feel like we have a pretty good opportunity to beat this thing, but we also understand that we are the underdogs on this fight. Here's a couple reasons why. 49 out of 50 charter amendments in Baltimore City since 1999 have passed. 1 of them failed. 2, David Smith, the wealthy Republican who financed this entirely on his own, has a television station and a newspaper at his disposal in order to be able to share his version of his agenda. 3, even though Peace, the organization behind this initiative, only has $5,153 in their bank account, according to the last campaign finance statement, David Smith could write a 6, 7, or 8-figure check at any point he wanted in order to give them more money. 4, nearly 60,000 Baltimore City voters receive vote-by-mail ballots next week. That's about 25% of the people that voted in the general election in 2020. So we have a lot of work to do in the next week, and we have a lot of work to do in the next 48 days. Our focus here at Baltimore for Democracy is to help activate the social networks that make our democracy thrive in Baltimore. We want to make sure that everyone can learn about Question H and that each person interested in defeating it can easily join the effort. Right now, our work is to help defeat this initiative, but we don't think the work ends on Election Day. In fact, we hope this is just the beginning of a more vibrant discussion about grassroots democracy in Baltimore City and of just the beginning of this kind of civic participation.